Hi everyone, so I was ranting on Instagram and now I'm just going to rant on YouTube because I'm so angry, I'm just so shocked, I'm just so surprised that people still want to vote for Donald Trump. Donald Trump is just embarrassing on so many levels. First of all, he has little experience. In fact, I have way more political experience, so you might as well just write my name down if you're going to waste your vote. As I'm not old enough to be the president of the United States. I'm going to talk about some really terrible things about Donald Trump. I'm going to talk about why it's really important to vote. I'm going to talk about how I'm sick of people saying I don't like Joe Biden, so they're not going to vote. You're just lazy. There's plenty of other people on the ballot. There's plenty of other candidates that are running right now. There's some really important elections in every single state, every single district, every single city, and I'm just shocked. I'm just truly shocked. There are people to this day that are undecided voters. How can you be undecided? Have you just been sleeping? Have you just not been paying attention to all of the terrible things? How can you be undecided? How can you be that dramatic about your life that you want so much attention put on you that you're just going to say, I'm undecided, so people will talk to you? Are you lonely? If you're lonely, you need friends, you should check out some websites, but please don't say you're undecided, because that's not how you make friends. Because in a couple of weeks, Donald Trump's not going to be president. You heard it first from me. Donald Trump's going to lose. You heard it first from me, so you can tell everyone that I'm a psychic and take a little clip of this and throw it in your videos in the future and just be like, wow, Anna is truly the best source for all of the news. Besides just being really terrible to Americans, he's terrible to all the other people in the world. So when you talk about any other country, he's just terrible to them, except for Russia, except for maybe North Korea. Maybe he likes them. I don't know. He's crazy. And he's blaming China for his own incompetencies. I feel bad that the name China is even put into his mouth, because he is such a terrible person that I can't even, I'm just so shocked that people still don't want to vote for Joe Biden. Now, maybe you don't like Joe Biden that much. Well, you don't have to marry him. You don't have to date him. You do, however, have to pick one of two choices. It's a very simple system. If you wanted someone else to be on the ballot, then you should have worked harder to get that person out there. So don't complain at this point. It's too late. You have two choices. I'm going to break it down like I'm a kindergartner teacher for some of you. You either pick Donald Trump or you pick Joe Biden. Maybe you don't like that system. This is the country you live in. Goodbye. Leave. Let somebody else come live here who would care more and want to be involved and be a part of this country. I have friends who have donated to campaigns of Hillary Clinton or Barack Obama or Joe Biden, and they're not even Americans. They're not even residents. They're not even people who live in the United States, but they're just passionate about choosing the right leaders for our world, because every decision is global. It's impacting every single person. Yet, so many Americans are going to wake up on November 3rd and just act like it didn't care and leave the weight of all those problems on those who are doing the most. I am tired of having to explain to people the most obvious things. My whole life, voting has been extremely important to me, and politics. When I was a child, I was already helping out with campaigns, with voting, with nonpartisan campaigns, with issue campaigns, value-led campaigns, and every year that there was an election, I would go with my mom to go and watch her vote. And when I was 16 years old, I pre-registered to vote at my high school, and I chose to take initiative even before I was able to vote. And when I turned 18, I voted, not in a general election, but in some local elections, and I was able to affect change because I think my vote really counts. In the 2016 election, I was really involved in the North Carolina campaign for governor, and I was able to help elect our current governor, Roy Cooper, who has really saved and turned around the state for businesses, the economy, and so many issues. And if you at all care about your black brothers and sisters in this world, then you need to go out and vote, because Donald Trump is one of the most racist people in the entire world. Not only that, but he chooses to ignore and not condemn groups that are extremely racist and extremely radical and extremely dangerous for our country. Donald Trump has done nothing but bad things for our country, besides killing 200,000 plus Americans by his negligence. If we were in the court of law, I am no lawyer, but I am positive to know that that is third-degree murder. That is the assisting of murder because of his negligence. If you see something, say something. It's so simple. It's so easy, yet Donald Trump completely misses this message. If you don't care about all that, then I sure hope that you care about the Russian interference in the election and how he just dismisses such campaigns. Not only is Donald Trump stupid, but just remember that he's a heartless person who doesn't care about most people. He literally was impeached. Let's not forget that. That means that people tried to get him out of office. So he was chosen to be voted out of office by our government. So they tried to get him out of office, but because there's a House majority of Republicans, we're not able to impeach him. But nevertheless, he was impeached. So he also tried to ban TikTok. I don't know how serious he was, but just saying stuff like that is just so stupid, because a lot of people like TikTok and they have funny videos. Maybe somebody's gonna take this video and just make a little clip of me. That's just really terrible. He's done horrible things to Native Americans, people who are native to our country. He's done horrible things to our environment by creating oil pipelines, by kind of putting so much pressure and strain on our environment and doing only bad things for our local environment, which then impacts the entire earth. He literally just does so many bad things for immigrants as well. He talks about travel bans for certain groups. He talks about anti-Muslim rhetoric, talks about anti-immigrant rhetoric. So many of those things are just so horrible. Not to mention, he also never released his taxes. And then when he finally did, he was paying less taxes than, for example, a nurse who is working overtime to protect our Americans that Donald Trump is killing. There's just so many things that he lies about just every day. For example, lying about the crowds, lying about how many people are at something. And then when you're not supposed to have a lot of people, he tells them to all come, and then walking around, by the way, he could still have COVID. I know people who have had COVID and they were not better after 2 weeks. So he's just walking around, just going out and just saying hello to the crowd and just getting his spit on them. And it's really, really horrible. He's always calling people names, but he never has anything to say about himself. He never wants to name his own issues, his own problems. He tries to just attack any immigrants. For example, most recently, it's been found that over 500 children cannot find their parents because they were separated at the border at the horrible decisions that were made by both Donald Trump and his administration, where they said that they wanted to separate children no matter how young. That's just a really terrible thing to say. He literally is always talking about ways that the police can do their job worse instead of working on ways that the police can better serve and protect the people. Just all of this terrible stuff. By the way, I've also seen Donald Trump in person. I attended a protest before he was president, when he was still in the nomination section, still running for primary. Still, there were some other candidates, also some terrible people, but hey, not as bad as him. And I remember he was just so terrible. And then the people there were so terrible too. And they tried to push us around. And They were just really mean and bullying us, and they also broke this girl's phone that I was with, who is black, and they specifically just smacked her phone out of her hand, and it was an act of racism that I witnessed at one of his own rallies. So I've seen this stuff firsthand. So if you don't trust the news, you don't trust anyone else, you can at least trust me, because I'm only going to tell you exactly what I saw. Everyone he's trying to appoint for his offices are just terrible people as well. Besides all of that, there's so much that our country can accomplish and be great with, yet we're falling behind. And not just because of COVID. We're falling behind in every aspect. Our country is just looking less and less like a great place to be. And I really would like to come back to America and contribute my great skills and maybe even run for office myself, but I have no interest in doing that if I continue to see this type of hateful rhetoric. So if you're undecided, or if you're voting for Donald Trump, you should think again, because you might as well. I'd rather you just not vote. The only person I would want not to vote is somebody who's going to vote for Donald Trump, because you're just being stubborn. You can't actually think he's doing a good job. You can't be that blind. And if you are that stupid, then you shouldn't vote, because that just means that you're legally incompetent. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope everyone is having a great Friday. TGIF.